What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Realistic Career Mode of Wrexham. This is episode number 65, and Dude at Smiles will come in straight with a comment saying Johnson trying to come into the team and earn that Player of the Season award. I'll be honest, mate, Sam Johnson has been phenomenal, and he is definitely up there for signing of the season, Player of the Season, all of the awards, because he has really changed our season around. I don't know where we would have been if we still had Wes in goal. But yeah, obviously, there's still a long way to go till the end of the season. And you guys, of course, will be choosing our player of the season, young player of the season, and signing of the season. So just keep an eye out. Get a pen and pencil out. Keep a note of who is impressing you. Well, in the last episode, it was an episode of mixed fortunes, really. 2 league defeats, which dropped us down to 4th, but 2 incredible cup wins. But I will get onto those in just a minute because look at this. Leeds United, currently with like a 14-point lead at the top of the championship, have offered me the position of their manager. Wow. Firstly, I'm flattered. Thank you, boys. I appreciate it. You've come to me and you've seen what I've done with Wrexham, what I've built with them, and you think I can improve Leeds. They're currently 15 points clear at the top of the championship. I don't know why they need a new manager. Perhaps their manager has been snapped up by someone else. But, I mean, what an offer that would be, eh? Pretty much guaranteed Premier League football next season. A good squad. But my focus is with Wrexham and Wrexham solely. So, Leeds, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to reject your offer. Thank you, but no thank you. Anyway, going back onto the last episode 64. As I mentioned, we lost the 2 league games, which was quite tough, I'll be honest. We didn't play well in those games. But in the FA Cup, the magic of the Cup, man, I tell you. We beat Palace away 2-0, it was redemption because that team knocked us out of the Carabao Cup back in August. We went to Selhurst Park, we outplayed them, we won 2-0. I think Alfie Devine scored a brace, set up a 4th round tie against Liverpool away at Anfield. By far and away our biggest game of the career mode in terms of magnitude, in terms of the level of the team we're playing, the occasion, the location as well. And we went there and won 2-0. And we deserved it as well. We played really well. We defended valiantly and took our chances when they came. Smallbone and I think it was Lowry were the goal scorers to put us through to the 5th round of the FA Cup and secure our biggest win in terms of magnitude in this career mode to date. So yeah, a bit of a mixed episode. Last episode about. We did promote Ethan Allen and Zachary Woods from the Youth Academy. We put them up for loan as well. We want to get them game times. And in today's episode, you'll see us take on 4 league opponents: Coventry, Bolton, Southampton, and Blackburn. Heading into this one, the first game of the episode, it will be Coventry, the Sky Blues, who are currently 19th right now, 28 points. They're just 1 point above the drop zone, so they are scrapping for every single point. We drew 1-1 with them back in August, and we were already on that scoreline 10 minutes into the game. Alfie Devine giving us a 1-0 lead. Grabbing his 8th goal of the season after Rocco Vata played him in. And then just 4 minutes later, Tavares would score after a through ball from Sims to level up the scoring. And then on the half an hour mark, Rocco Vata went down with an injury and he stayed down, man. But weirdly enough, he got back up and up in time to smash this goal home. Oh man, it was a bittersweet moment because I knew that Vata's injury, I don't think it was going to be good. The fact he stayed down concerned me. And he got back up on his feet and he actually gave us a 2-1 lead with this fantastic finish. Just Rocco being Rocco. He's an absolute machine. I think he's got about 15 goals this season. We did eventually sub him off. I think it might have been at half time we subbed him off just to as a precaution. Well, once again, our lead would only last just 4 in-game minutes. And Sam Johnston, well, Dude at Smiles said that Sam Johnston looking to be player of the season. You won't be with that, Sam, because... yeah, that was probably a shot he should have saved. Ellis Sims returning the favour after he assisted Tavares. Tavares then assisted Sims, and they level the score at 2-2, and we go into the halftime break tied at 2 apiece. And then that aforementioned substitution, Rocco off for Alex Lowry. Hopefully the injury isn't too bad. Well, less than 10 minutes into the second half, Will Smallbone were playing Jewis and Bennett, who would drive down that left-hand side, beating his man and then smashing the ball across the keeper and going and celebrating in front of those travelling away fans. What a sight it was for them. And then in the 88th minute, Will Smallbone had the great chance to secure us all 3 points by giving us a 2-goal lead. His dinked little finish comes off the top of the bar, but it would matter not. the referee would blow full time and we would be back to winning ways. Our first win in 3 as we collect 4 points off Coventry. I don't know where bones came from. We collect 4 points off Coventry this season, a draw and a victory. A good way to start off this episode, we're starting off with a win. We're just playing 4 league games today. I know that we've had the nice little magic of the cup in the last episode, but our focus is the league, and that is where we want to do well. Now, going through our emails, and it would be bad news, guys. Rocco Vata had suffered a broken toe and he will miss 3 months. He suffered a broken toe and he still scored. This guy is ridiculous, man. It's heartbreaking because he's been phenomenal for us. He's the joint top scorer in the league along with Mullin, Knuff of Leeds and Mayenda of Sunderland. It's just, as you can see there, the stats. To do that as a winger, I've been so impressed with Vata this season, and he is going to miss nearly the entirety of the rest of the season. Bennett leading the assists, by the way, and Yuri Regier on 10. I absolutely love that our right back is third. But yeah, as we look at the calendar, he's going to miss 3 months, so he might be back for the last 2 games potentially on the recovery. That's heartbreaking. That is honestly heartbreaking. Alex Lowry is going to have to come to the side now and try and make a difference and try and fill some boots that, well, Rocco is just, they're unfillable at the moment, the form Rocco's been in this season. He's a candidate for player of the season because he's just been fantastic. And we're going to have to deal without Rocco now for practically the rest of the season. Well, we would look to make it a more cheery note as we travel to Bolton looking to make it back-to-back victories. Bolton, around the same area as Coventry. They're in 17th right now, 3 points above the drop zone. So they, like Coventry, are just fighting for every point in an attempt to stay up. Well, we would make 3 changes to the team that beat Coventry. Lowry in for the injured Vata, Lee and Mendy also come in. The host would take the lead. I don't know how this went in. He's headed it practically from the byline. But Bolton would take a 1-0 lead. Morley with the header. Dion Charles with the assist. I mean, it was an impressive header, I tell you that. Johnston, could he have done better? Potentially. But Bolton were good for their lead. And, 70 minutes on the clock, they would make it 2-0. Dion Charles went from provider to scorer, and he gives Bolton a 2-0 lead. It was a tight first half, to be honest. Both teams kind of had chances. But in the second half, Bolton just blew us away. I couldn't keep up with their press and their domination. And despite their league position, they were well worthy of this victory. And unfortunately, it's our third defeat in 4 games. And it's also the third time in 4 games that we failed to score, which... Am I worried? No, I don't think so, because the team we have, especially the forwards, are so talented. They have a lot of quality between them, and we've seen in the stats this season that they are all contributing. So for us to go goalless in 3 of the last 4 games, it's just odd more than anything. It really is odd, but I don't think that form will stick around. Hopefully, we can't afford to keep losing games, though. That is for sure. We remain third, but we're now 5 points behind Leicester as we see our round 5 opponents in the FA Cup, and it'd be fellow Championship side Watford at the Racecourse Ground. What an opportunity to get into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. That is a magical story waiting to happen for Wrexham. Going back to the league, Bolton remains 17th, but they do extend their gap over the bottom 3 and make it 4 wins from the last 6, so they're finding some form, which is very good for them. But up next, it would be Southampton at the Racecourse Ground at home. 10th right now are the Saints. They've dropped off a little bit. They were up in the playoffs earlier in the season, but they have dropped off. They are actually one of 4 teams on 47 points. They're 4 points off the playoffs, so they're kind of in a pocket chasing the playoffs where it's tight, as is always the case in the Championship. That's what makes it the most competitive league in the world, and for me personally, I think one of the best leagues in the world. But yeah, as we take on Southampton, Southampton in real life, how do you think they'll get on in the Premier League this season? They won promotion via the playoffs last year. How do you think they'll get on this season now they're back in the Premier League? Let me know in the comments. Well, going into this one, we faced Southampton in August and we won 3-1 at St Mary's. It was our first 3 points of the season, our first victory of the season, and it was a very impressive win indeed. Southampton have lost their last 2, but they do have Alcaraz up top, who somehow always seems to score against us. But we filled our strongest 11, barring Rocco Vata. We did make a couple of changes against Bolton, Mendy and Lee coming in, and you could tell the quality really wasn't there. So we're back to our recognised 11 now, bar Vata. Lowry is in for him. Well, we would go 1-0 up in the first half. Paul Mullin on the score sheet, Smallbone with the assist, 16 for the season for Mullin. And then in the second half on the hour mark, those two would link up again. Smallbone again finding Mullin, who would go bare on goal and finish with a plum. And then, do you know what? He was just feeling himself, Paul. It was like Mullin of old, of the first and second season. And when I got the ball here, I was just like, just take a touch and hit it, Paul, because everything you're hitting today is going in. And lo and behold, Mullin has a hat-trick. Lowry with the assist. And by the way, Saints had the audacity to bid for Mullin. Was it last episode or a couple of episodes ago? They had the audacity to bid for him. We said no, he's going nowhere. He now scores a hat-trick against Southampton. I absolutely love that. Unfortunately, in injury time, we lost our clean sheet. Kavici for Southampton would give them the consolation goal. But it would be back-to-back 3-1 victories over Southampton. So a really good performance to bounce back from that Bolton defeat. We're kind of going, win-loss right now. I don't want to do that. I think in the first 26 games of the season, we only lost 3 games. And we've already lost a couple in the second half of the season. So we need to make sure we're finding form. Do not let Leicester out of our sights. I feel like Leeds are they won't be, they can't be caught now. They're so far ahead. But for me, that second place is definitely attainable, definitely achievable, and that is my aim for this season, because the playoffs, they are a cruel mistress, although we won promotion from League 2 and League 1 via the playoffs, so who knows. As you can see there, the top scorers, Mullin and Mayenda, both on 18. As we head into the fourth and final game of the episode, and it would be Blackburn Rovers away. Rovers 8th right now, 4 points off the playoffs, so looking for a little push to make the postseason. They've lost 3 of their last 5 though, so potentially a bit vulnerable, just like us. They are on the 50-point mark now. As we mentioned, they are chasing the playoffs. Weirdly enough, the previous 2 meetings against Rovers have finished 3-3. I remember this fixture in particular last season when we faced Rovers here at Ewood Park. Alex Lowry scored a hat-trick. I think Mahanda for Blackburn scored a hat-trick for them. It was a very end-to-end game. Well, over half an hour in, Sedge would receive this beautiful assist from Sigurdsson and give Blackburn the lead. I don't really know how this ball beat Chambers. I was a bit disappointed, to be honest. And there goes another clean sheet. Blackburn would have the lead. But just a few minutes later, 8 minutes later, Jewison Bennett would again be on the score sheet, get an assist from Regier, who was like is third in the assist charts with 10, I think. But that was his first assist for about 3 games. The right back grabbing his 11th assist of the season, and we are level on the table. Well, going into the second half, just before the hour mark, Lowry would find Mullin. Mullin luckily would find Devine. Paul was on the stretch and the ball bobbled through to Alfie, who would give us a 2-1 lead on the hour mark. Alfie has just been absolutely phenomenal, man. Regier won the ball back. We got to work. Mullin finds Devine. Not sure if we'll get the assist for that or not, because it was fairly lucky, but it matters not. We lead 2-1. And then Lowry drives into the box, cuts it back to Smallbone, and his shot is very well saved by the Blackburn shot stopper. Before he sends a goal kick up, 73 minutes on the clock now. Chambers goes up for a header, goes down, and he stays down as well. And is that going to be another injury for us? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. We kind of got quite lucky and went injury-free for most of the season, but now in the same episode, Vata and potentially Luke Chambers out. Now, we sub him off for Josh Earl, just in case, just to make sure the injury isn't too bad. Paul Mullin has a chance to wrap up the game. He wins, he robs the defender after a heavy touch and runs, bears down on goal from the halfway line, but his shot is saved. Very un-Paul Mullin-like. He normally scores those. And then Bennett with a cross in, Mullin with a header up, and then Alfie Devine. I mean, this kid, yeah, he's special. He is special. He won signing of the season last year. He might just straight up win player of the season this year. He has been phenomenal, especially since we've moved him up into that cam spot. Ball comes in from Bennett, headed up by the defender, and then Devine, to beat his man. He's not the tallest, Alfie, but his header is a strong one, and it powers home to give get his second goal of the game, our third, and what looked like all 3 points. But then in the 89th minute, Blackburn made it 3-2, And I'm thinking, surely we're not going to have a third consecutive 3-all draw with Blackburn, are we? Well, no. I made sure we held out. We locked down the team for the last couple of minutes, kept the ball down Blackburn's end, and we secured 3 points to kind of continue this back and forth episode. Really, it started with a win, then to a loss, then to another 2 wins. So 3 wins from 4 is pretty positive. A good bounce back as well after losing both league games last episode. And yeah, as we can mention in the interview there, Alfie Devine just continues to shine. But some dampening news. Luke Chambers, another broken toe injury. Luke Chambers has broken his toe as well. He is out for 3 months and he will miss the remainder of the season. And that's quite significant because we have Jacob Mendy, who was our starting left back for the first couple of seasons. Now Chambers has come in. I think I might actually start Josh Earl at left back. He hasn't done too badly when filling in this season. He obviously hasn't been a starter for us. So I might start Josh Earl at left back. And rather than Jacob Mendy, but Chambers out for the season now. Rocco Vata out for the majority of the season. Couple of big injuries as we head towards the crunch period of the season. 14 games left to go, and of course an FA Cup quarter-final as well. As we look at the league table here, Southampton down to 12 now. What has happened to them? They have had a massive fall off. Have the Saints, and down the bottom, Derby, Charlton and Hull are struggling. Derby and Charlton in particular are really struggling. Hull are in a relegation scrap, that is for sure. Well, that'll be it for today's episode 65. I hope you're enjoying the series, guys. Make sure to drop a like on the video if you are. Sub to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you in episode 66 very soon.